Our first guest tonight is a talented actress you know from her work in Knives Out, No Time to Die, and The Gray Man. She stars as Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, which is in select theaters now and premieres globally on Netflix September 28th. Let's take a look.
Don't abandon me.
She's coming. She's almost here.
Please come.
Please welcome to the show, Ana de Armas, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It is, we were talking backstage. I love this film. It is so, it's an emotional roller coaster to watch.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it was like to have worked on it for months and months.
Same.
Yeah, okay, good.
Very emotional, very immersive, but also a beautiful experience.
A gorgeous film, and
Thank
it
you.
premiered at the Venice Film Festival. I've never been. I've heard it's incredibly glamorous.
It was my first time.
First time there, and this is even cooler. It's the first time your mom, who I know is based in Cuba, got to go to one of your premieres.
First premiere in Venice. So that was pretty overwhelming for her. And I was just, you know, working a lot and doing press and checking on her every once in a while. Are you okay? Are you okay? And she would just start crying every single time. And I was like, I am not gonna ask you anymore if you're okay. Just
Was
we'll
she
talk
crying
later.
because she wasn't okay, or was?
She was more than okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I would imagine it was an incredibly glamorous night. The film was
Yeah.
beautifully received as well.
Yeah.
Is your mom someone who gives you notes on performance ever?
Not really. I mean, she's, you know, I remember the time I brought Knives Out to my home in Cuba, and I did like this kind of like screening for my family and friends. And at the end of the movie, she was just like, Daniel was amazing, and Jamie Lee Curtis was great. And this other guy was great, and I'm like, you know, I'm in the movie too. She was complimenting everyone else. She was just happy I got a job, you know? Yeah.
And you got, she's like, everyone was great, and I'm assuming you got paid, which is, you know.
Pretty much.
You grew up in Cuba, some in Spain. I imagine even at those locations, you were aware of who Marilyn Monroe was, yes?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we did have Marilyn's films on TV in Cuba, and of course in Spain. You know, after studying drama school, I started watching more films. So I knew who Marilyn Monroe was and what she meant, but I didn't know about Norma Jean, who was that woman, you know, playing that character.
We were talking backstage as well about the fact that I will admit, when I first heard you were playing the part, I did not think that you looked like her. You felt the same way. And yet, on camera...
Trust me, no one ever told me I looked like Marilyn Monroe.
I heard
Ever.
you always described yourself to people like that. You would say,
Yeah.
Just so you know, when you see me, I look just like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Well, she used to be brunette, so
Yeah, she did. She
that
had
we
that
have
going
in
for her.
common.
But you, obviously, a transformation like that
Yeah.
required, you know, some additional things other than just an acting performance, including you had your eyebrows bleached. That sounds...
Painful.
And what's your report back?
Well, you know, I love my eyebrows. You know, it's, you know, women know how important eyebrows are. So they had to bleach them. And not only that, like shave the middle of my eyebrows to make them more, you know, separate them like she had. So, but my hair was brunette, so I just didn't leave home for 2 months. It was terrifying.
Why didn't they wait until closer to the movie? Did they bleach them 2 months before, or was it just after filming each day?
Well, you need to do camera tests and you know, all of that.
I don't
and
understand
then the
how
movie was
movies
for
work.
9 weeks. Yeah.
And they like edit it and stuff. This is you might not naturally make people think of Marilyn Monroe, but you had someone in your life who was a perfect match for someone in Marilyn's life. And
Yes, I do.
There's a very dramatic scene with a dog.
Yes, which is very. When I watch it, I don't know how to feel because, of course, it's a very serious,
Yeah.
you know, important scene in the film, and then at the same time, I'm just looking at him and I'm.
This is the
melting.
dog that this is Marilyn's dog right here. That's a photo of Marilyn's dog.
Yeah.
This is the dog in the film, and that's actually your real life dog.
That's Elvis.
That's
That's my
Elvis.
dog. Yeah.
So when did it occur to everyone that you actually had the perfect dog for the part? Did Elvis
Well-
like nose his headshot over one day?
Well, that's a dog. Sinatra gave her that dog. And
Okay.
The dog's name is Mafia,
Okay.
obviously.
Right.
And when we found this out, and Andrew, as
Yeah.
the great visionary that
Yes,
he is,
the-
he saw I looked like Marilyn Monroe. Obviously, he saw that Elvis was perfect for Mafia, and he was the one. He had the idea, like we need Elvis in the movie.
And now, so again, you're doing. I would not. We had my dog here one time, and I was stressed out the whole day because, well, I should note, my dog is dumb as rocks. And did it bring you any stress to have people, an entire crew of people, you know, basically relying on Elvis?
Well, he was only in 2 scenes. This
Okay.
one that didn't make the cut.
Oh God, did you have to break it to him?
And then the other one that's the most important one. But he's very well behaved.
Yeah.
He's 13, so he's been
Oh
on
right.
sets with me.
And he seems to take to stardom. pretty
Clearly,
well.
he's very, very spoiled.
And I heard
My makeup
he's-
artist Tina was making sure he was fresh and like.
He wants to do a spin-off, is that right? He wants his
Yeah, no chance.
no
No
chance.
chance. What's funny about this is that chair was another actor's chair that was doing a scene, and when he finished, he came back. His backpack was on the floor, and he was just like, "Okay, I get it."
Yeah, because I mean, based on that chair. Well, no, I guess that's low. Did Elvis get there up on his own? Because I feel like
No,
Yeah, he
no.
needed help. Yeah.
No, yeah.
So if I was the actor, I wouldn't be like bad dog. I'd be like bad co-stars.
Yes.
One of the things I enjoy the most, and again, you're wonderful in this film. You know, we are so used to seeing you in very fast-paced films like Gray Man or No Time to Die. You know, even Knives Out to some degree. This is such a, you know, again, it's fascinating to watch her entire life
It was
unfold.
fast-paced in a different way.
Yes, it's very
Yes.
right. But it does, I mean, again, Andrew Dominic, the director, I think he has such an eye for taking his time and letting you really feel the character.
Yeah.
Did it feel like a more patient performance while you were doing it? Or, because it feels very lived in, I guess, is what I'm saying. You don't seem to be in a rush in a really nice way.
Oh, well, that's not what happened.
Okay.
I was actually pretty rushed. We didn't have money. We didn't have time to do this, to do the movie.
Well, they had to use your dog. That's a dead
So-
giveaway.
Yeah.
They're just walking around set being like, anyone got a dog that looks like this?
Pretty much.
That is fascinating to me to hear that you got. It is such a beautiful film. And, you know, so yeah, credit to everyone involved because you would never look at it and say,
Thank
"Oh,
you.
they were definitely cutting corners here." It's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, Andrew is a fantastic director. He's very thoughtful and very respectful, and he was very passionate about this story, and he, you know, he took it very seriously. He's very, you know,
Yeah.
detailed and perfectionist, and so am I, so.
Well, it was a perfect match, and it's a great film. And thank you so much for being here. It's so
Thank
lovely
you
to
so
meet you in
much.
person. You guys, Blonde is in select theaters now. It premieres globally on Netflix September 28th. We'll be right back with Rima